500,000 people on the streets, 750,000 possibly on the streets. A fantastic demonstration, the largest demonstration in trade union history. And what have we seen really since then? We've seen the pension struggle, the unions coming together, the NET and other unions to fight that struggle. But the cuts have, as Salma said, continued. We've seen cuts in jobs, pensions, health, housing, education, benefits. They've all come under sustained attack. We've got mass youth unemployment now, and I think the cuts have only just started. Salma said 10%, possibly 15%. 85% of the cuts are still to come. But I think something very profound has changed in those struggles that have taken place around the pensions and that big march, is that the government has lost the propaganda argument. I think at the time of the first march, there was some feeling that possibly we needed austerity, that somehow austerity would create growth. They told us two things. One, we're all in it together, and two, cuts will create growth. I think on both grounds they have lost. And Salma talked about the war, and I think they have lost the argument in the same way that Tony Blair lost the argument over Iraq. Tony Blair must be the only person in Britain who now believes that the Iraq war was right. And I think we will soon have the case where David Cameron and George Osborne will be the only people in Britain who believe the cuts will bring growth and will revive the economy. They lost the argument, and one of the things I'm most pleased about is that Owen is here tonight, and he's part of this new think tank that Unite have set up with a great acronym, CLASS, the Centre for Labour and Social Studies, and they have produced a new report that shows that 70% of people in this country oppose austerity. So we know that it's a government of the rich, for the rich. And you only have to look, as many of you will have to today, at the front of The Guardian. They're talking about breadline Britain. It's not just a war on the poor, but it's actually a war on working people as well. 7 million families are one bill away from disaster. So the central question for us here, and what I want to talk very briefly about the role of CORE in this, is how do we take this movement forward? How do we win? And I think the key to any advance in the work that we're doing is unity. We must have unity of the movement. And in this sense, we must begin, for example, with unity of the people against racism and fascism. We see throughout Europe the rise of Islamophobia, the rise of fascist parties. We saw the Golden Dawn get 7%, and we saw the Front National get a big vote in France. I mean, I salute Jean-Luc Mélenchon, Daniel Obono's leader, who stood against Marine Le Pen, and it's a great tribute that Marine Le Pen did not win her seat in France. That was a victory for us all. But the warning is that the niece, Maréchal Le Pen, did win her seat in France. So I think what we have to do, we have to, as Salma said, in terms of what was lacking in the anti-war movement, is the question of the trade unions. We have to unite the trade unions and the wider anti-austerity movement. That is the role of CORE, and that is what this rally represents. The Tories are trying to divide us, to smash our collective structures, which have been hard won over centuries, and we must refuse to be divided. So in preparing this great march on the 20th, we must cement the unity, overcome any divisions in the movement. We must build a mass movement and unite all the campaigns. It's only on the basis of the health, the benefits campaigns coming together with the health campaigns, coming together with the jobs campaigns, and all together in one mass movement that we will be able to win. There should be committees to build the demonstration in every town and city throughout Britain, which are open to all and which include all. They should be based around the trade unions, but the anti-austerity movements should work within them, and we should have mass meetings like this one, big meetings like this one, preparing for a demonstration which will eclipse the demonstration that we saw on March the 26th. I think reality, the real situation, demands no less of us. And a lesson for us here must be the lesson of Greece, in a sense. Because we congratulate Syriza. It's a huge achievement for Syriza to go from 4% to 27% of the vote. But how much greater an achievement it would have been if left unity had brought them to power. That would have been a real achievement. It was because the left was in some senses divided that we didn't have that. When I was on the recent trade union delegation to Greece, we were told over and over again by the people of Greece, and Vassilis has referred to this, we were told, we are the lab rats of Europe. They will do to you what they are doing to us. So this is my final appeal for unity. It must be international. It must, to stop it there, and we have to stop it here, to stop it here, we must stop it there. We don't fight alone in Britain. We stand together with the people of Greece, and we stand together with the people of Europe against austerity and against the brutality of capitalism. So let's make October the 20th the greatest mobilisation we've ever seen on the basis of this international solidarity. Thank you.